Does taking out a key leader, even one responsible for, catastrophic attacks, actually stop a powerful organization like Hamas? Or does it just guarantee the fight escalates? Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into one of the most controversial strategies in counterterrorism, targeted killings. It's a practice Israel uses against the leadership of groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, and its effectiveness is, well, it's constantly debated. Our sources for this deep dive detail Israel's long history with these operations, everything from the geopolitical fallout to the, frankly, chilling high-tech methods they use. And our mission here is to understand the true strategic impact of this decapitation strategy, especially now with the killing of senior Hamas commander Raed Saad in Gaza City just days ago.
And it's important to frame this right from the start for you. The sources are pretty unanimous on this point. This strategy is the definition of a double-edged sword.
A double-edged sword.
Exactly. You get the tactical success, a dangerous actor is removed from the board. But then we have to analyze what comes next. Does that tactical win actually become a strategic failure if the enemy just regroups, maybe even stronger, maybe with a successor who's even more radical?
That's the core tension.
That's the whole discussion right there.
Okay, so let's start with the immediate flashpoint then. Raed Saad. This wasn't just some low-level guy.
No, not at all.
Israel described him as one of the chief architects of the October 7th attack. And crucially, he was the commander of Hamas's military manufacturing unit.
Which means taking him out disrupts the literal production line of terror.
Precisely. And the timing here is key. This happened during a fragile ceasefire.
It really highlights the sense of urgency. Israel's justification was that the organization was violating the truce. The immediate trigger was an explosive device that had wounded 2 Israeli soldiers in southern Gaza.
So they saw Saad as actively rebuilding.
Actively and, they said, rapidly rebuilding the terrorist organization, rebuilding its weapons capabilities.
So the strike goes ahead. Saad and 3 associates are killed near Gaza City. That's a tactical win. But the political fallout.
Immediate. And, completely predictable. Hamas's chief negotiator, Khalil al-Hayya, he was out with a statement almost right away.
Saying this threatens the entire ceasefire.
The entire thing. He said it threatens the viability of the ongoing October agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So the destruction is there, but the organization's resilience was, just as visible.
How so?
Within hours of the strike, Hamas's armed wing announced they'd already chosen a replacement for Saad.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that.
What?
That's the decentralized structure at work. It's built to withstand these kinds of hits.
And all of this is happening on the ground where, as you said, the truce is paper thin.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the geography of the conflict, the tension is constant.
It is. The sources say Israeli sources still control the depopulated eastern half of Gaza, and the dividing line there it's a major flashpoint.
The sources call it the yellow line. Can you break that down for us? What exactly is that?
The yellow line is basically a hard security perimeter. It's a no-go zone that Israel enforces to prevent infiltration. And the policy is clear.
What's the policy?
Israeli troops are authorized to fire on Palestinians who approach it. It's seen as a critical national security measure, but it just shows you the level of tension on the ground.
And the numbers back that up.
They really do. Since the truce started in October, Palestinian officials say at least 391 Palestinians have been killed in strikes and shootings, many near that perimeter.
391, that's a staggering number for a truce.
It is. It shows you how active the conflict remains, even without a full-scale war.
So let's step back a bit. We've seen the immediate stakes with Saad. How long has Israel actually been using this strategy? What's the thinking behind it?
Oh, for decades. This is a well-established doctrine. The core idea is simple: deterrence and disruption. You want to break up the planning, the coordination, the execution of attacks.
And send a message.
And send a very loud message. Eliminating a high-profile target like Saad is meant to show that getting involved in terror has very, very severe personal consequences. It's framed as a necessary tool of self-defense.
But what about the legality, especially in crowded urban areas? How does Israel justify these actions under international law?
Well, they anchor their justification in Article 51 of the UN Charter, the right of self-defense. But here's the really key legal distinction they make, something you need to know. They designate these targets as continuous combat functionaries.
Continuous combat functionaries, a CCF.
Exactly, and that designation is everything. It argues these commanders are legitimate military targets in what's called a non-international armed conflict, or NIAC.
So what does that mean in plain English?
It means they're considered combatants 24/7. They aren't civilians who just happen to be part of a terror group. They're constant military targets, even if they're, at home or in a meeting.
So there's no off-duty.
There's no off-duty. And that provides the legal framework to strike whenever and wherever they can locate the target.
And their ability to locate these targets, it's just astonishing. The technology the sources describe, it feels like we've entered a new era of warfare.
We absolutely have. The intelligence and operational reach that Israel has developed is really world-leading.
Let's get specific, because this is where it gets fascinating. The 2020 assassination of Iran's top nuclear scientist, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh.
Right.
The report said that was carried out with an AI-assisted, remote-controlled killer robot. I mean, that's not a drone strike. That's something else entirely.
It's surgical. And that leap in technology continued right up to the 2024 assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas's political leader, in Tehran.
In Tehran. How did they possibly pinpoint his location inside Iran?
Well, the sources suggest they use spyware similar to Pegasus. For anyone who doesn't know, Pegasus is this incredibly sophisticated tool that can infiltrate a smartphone and basically turn it into a live surveillance device.
So you're not just tracking the phone. You're using the target's own device against them, accessing calls, messages, even the mic and camera.
Exactly. So the Heni operation wasn't just about eliminating a target. It was a massive intelligence victory that exposed huge vulnerabilities in Iran's security.
It proved Israel's operational reach goes deep into hostile territory.
It fundamentally changes the game. There's no safe haven anymore. You can't just cross a border and assume you're safe.
And yet, even with this incredible tactical advantage, we come back to that paradox. The whole point is to deter, but what we so often see is immediate retaliation.
That is the essential critique of the strategy, yes. The focus becomes so locked on the individual that you miss the bigger picture, which is the organization itself.
The sources use this powerful analogy. It's like pruning a weed with deep roots.
That's a perfect way to put it. You cut the top off the leadership, and for a moment, it looks like you've succeeded. The growth stops.
But the roots?
The roots, the ideology, the decentralized structure, the money, they're all still there, completely intact.
And the weed just grows back, maybe even thicker and more resistant than before.
And we have history to prove it. Look at the 2004 killing of Hamas's spiritual leader, Sheikh Yassin, a huge tactical win at the time.
But what happened after?
The sources are clear. Hamas actually increased its attacks afterward. The structure was strong enough to absorb the hit and strike back.
And we just saw that pattern repeat with Raed Saad, a replacement named almost instantly.
So the critical failure isn't in the execution, it's in the strategy. Israel achieves these stunning tactical wins, but critics argue it fails to achieve the bigger goal, eradicating the threat.
Because you can't solve a political problem with only military action.
You can't bomb an ideology. The strategy doesn't address the underlying issues: economic desperation, political grievances, the narratives that fuel radicalization and recruitment in the first place.
And in fact, it can make it worse. These killings often create a powerful martyrdom narrative that actually helps with recruitment.
It keeps the whole conflict cyclical.
And we can't forget the wider geopolitics. Let's go back to the Haniyeh assassination. He was killed in Iran.
A key backer of Hamas, right? And striking him in Tehran was a direct challenge to Iran's regional power. But it was also a very calculated diplomatic move.
How so?
Haniyeh was based in Qatar. If Israel had hit him there, it would have seriously damaged the relationship with Qatar, who is a key mediator with the U.S.
Oh, I see.
By choosing Iran, Israel put pressure on its main adversary while keeping its diplomatic channels through Qatar open. It was a very complex calculation.
But a calculation that, again, threatens the actual peace process. Haniyeh was a political figure involved in negotiations.
And taking him off the board threatens to stall everything. Ceasefire talks, hostage releases.
Yeah.
You remove the political figures, and the military hardliners gain more influence.
And right now, the roadblocks to any kind of deal seem almost insurmountable.
They do. The official goal is the demilitarization of Gaza. But Israel's immediate demand is the return of the remains of the final hostage, Rangavilli.
And Hamas' position.
Hamas refuses to give up its arms and demands a full Israeli withdrawal.
Those are completely incompatible positions. There's no middle ground there.
Not right now. And these targeted strikes, even when they seem necessary to eliminate an immediate threat, they just deepen the distrust that makes compromise impossible.
So to pull this all together for you, we've seen that Israel has this incredible technological and intelligence superiority. Pegasus, AI-assisted weapons, they can achieve stunning tactical wins.
They can get the target. But, as the sources show, that ability carries immense risk. These killings often trigger retaliation. They strengthen the group's resolve.
It's a necessary tool for national security to remove an active commander, but it seems insufficient for achieving any kind of long-term peace.
Because it's focused on the symptom, the leader, not the disease.
Which leaves us with a really critical question, one that policymakers are facing right now. If the ultimate goal here is stability and security, and if taking out a leader is just a short-term fix that leads to more escalation,
And a new, possibly more extreme, successor.
then does the entire strategic focus have to shift? I mean, do we have to move from just targeting the organization's head to dismantling the ideological and financial roots that allow it to keep growing back?
That's the question. And that's the difference between simple counterterrorism and real, lasting conflict resolution.